A couple days ago, I went to the store to buy a bottle of wine, because clearly I sit down to pee, and it's easier. Okay, you can play on Facebook, it's great. It's not the point. I got the bottle that I wanted, I went to the counter, I put it on the counter, as you do for purchases. And then the lady looked at me, and she looked at the wine, and she looked back at me, and she goes, "Ha! No!" That was it. That was the whole transaction. That's not protocol, okay? You don't just get to go, no. You at least gotta look at my ID before you say no. I was upset, right? I wasn't mad that she thought I was underage. I get it. I look 17 at best, right? I look like a To Catch a Predator bait child, right? Like my whole job is just to set you up so I can call Chris Hansen and be like, he's in the kitchen, he thought I was getting cookies. Go get him, he's being weird. Yeah, I know, I've had this face my whole life. It'd be weird if I didn't, right? It'd be weird if I like Benjamin Button. Like if I went old to this, it'd be goofy, but it's been this the whole time. I wasn't mad that she thought I was underage, but I was upset that she thought an underage person would be buying wine. In what world do you live in, Karen? Where some 17-year-old dude is showing up to this house party like, y'all not gonna believe this. I got Pinot Grigio! Yeah. Pew, 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 pew. Got that Grigio. Hand me the beer bong. I'm gonna funnel this Moscato. Yeah. Let's do shots of Chardonnay. Let's start a book club. One dude's like, let's read The Secret. Nah, Chad, you gotta go. How'd you get the address to this party? You and your flute gotta leave. It frustrated me. It frustrated me that she thought an underage person would drink wine, because that's not a young people drink. You know what I mean? Like, not one time in your entire life can you tell me a time where you've seen a 17-year-old dude be like, this Merlot pairs so well with the Doritos Locos Taco. It is just something about Zinfandels in a Hot Pocket to die for. It's never happened, okay? You don't know a 17-year-old that owns a corkscrew, okay? That is a psychopath. How many bottles are you popping? I'd rather you ID me for buying a corkscrew than for buying wine. I think there's two things alcohol-wise we should stop IDing for altogether, right? Wine and bourbon. Yeah, because no matter how old you are, if you're drinking them, you've earned it. Yeah, think about it. If you're drinking wine, clearly you have a lot of emotions. You're going through some things. And if you're drinking bourbon, you have no emotions. You've been through some things. You've earned it.
You know, people always ask me if this bracelet is one of those copper magnetic healing bracelets. Like, oh, does that thing work? Like, oh yeah, man, I was in a wheelchair last week. This thing's been kicking some butt for me, man, I'm telling you. I'm gonna put it on this arm next week. Actually, I better take it off soon, you know, I don't want to get too bitter. It might mess up my gig, you know? I have to tell corny white guy jokes, I don't know. Thank you, man. I gotta say, this has gotta be the best Make-A-Wish ever. for playing along. It's really... I'm sure you can all write this off. Yeah. It is fun, man. I love telling jokes. I do a lot of shows. I travel all over this beautiful country of ours, and I've been seeing more handicap accessible stuff going in everywhere. It's great, really well needed. But I gotta tell you, as a physically disabled person, I kind of feel obligated to use that stuff. You know how awkward that is when I'm on a date and I have to use the ramp? You know? I'll be there in a minute, babe. This Walgreens is up on a hill. I don't know. Oh, honey, let me get the door for you. Who says chivalry is dead, huh?
Do we have any single people here? Any single ladies in the house? Are you single? No? Do we have any single ladies? Single ladies in the house? Any single ladies? Gotta have one. One over there. What's your name, young lady? Ariel? Well, that's part of it. You're dating a fish? No. She's a person. Everybody calm down, all right? Her name's Ariel. Ariel, what do you look for in a guy? First thing you look for in a guy, Ariel. Nothing. You should... How are you still single? I don't understand. Everybody here has something, I'm leaving. That's good, though. Stay single. It's nice. Yeah, right, you don't need them? Right. Do we have any single guys here? Any single guys? Single gentlemen? Anybody? Where do single guys at? Single right here? Single, what's your name, buddy? You're Jake? Shocking. You look like a Jake. If I were to guess, does this guy not look like the Wikipedia version of Jake? If there was ever a Jake, it would be you. This guy looks like the Boise State quarterback over here. Jake over here, just catch the ball, please. Jake, what do you look for in a young lady, Jake?
Kind.
Kind? No, you're a liar, Jake. You don't look for kindness, Jake. I found somebody with nothing. I found somebody. Jake's over here. He's got nothing. Ariel right here. Found Jake. Let me know if you want to go hiking or something. Jake's over there. I'll bring snacks. I want nothing. I want you to show up with nothing, Jake. Stay single, bro. It's way easier, man. Are you guys dating over here, dating? Married? Ugh! Could you imagine? How long have you guys been married for? 12 years. How'd you guys meet?
Friends.
Through friends? White people stuff? All right, no big deal. Only white people have friends, by the way. Nobody else. I have a girlfriend now. It's awful. We've been going for 4 years. We hate each other. She will say the meanest stuff to me, but I can't break up with her because I'm not going back to the gym. They're running in there, Jake. My girlfriend and I, we just went on vacation together. We got in this huge fight in the hotel room. She went on level 3 flip out. Ladies, you know what that is? Yelling, crying, throwing stuff. In the hotel room, she starts threatening me. She's like, I'm gonna jump out the window. She's like, I'm gonna jump out the window because the way you make me feel, I hate you. I was like, oh, snap. I panicked, I run downstairs, I wake up the manager. I'm like, hey man, wake up, me and my girlfriend just got in this huge fight. He's like, that's not my problem. I said, look man, I don't think you get it. She wants to jump out the window. She's going nuts, I need your help. He's like, that's not my problem. I was like, it is your problem. The window is stuck.
robbed Wendy's with alligator. We're the alligator boys now.
And the baby, if he's sitting with the bank, should be going, Mom,